This is a message for women who don't sit around waiting for things to get done. If you are that woman, keep watching. If you're watching this right now, it is currently Women's History Month. And today I'm honoring the women who figure it out, because sometimes we have to. Now, if you're watching this at any other time, any other year, any other month, listen, it still applies. There are still women who are not sitting around waiting for others to get things done. She may even give, people some time to do things, or she may hire someone to get it done if she wants to spend the money or can afford to spend the money. However, today's women will figure it out, no matter how complicated, no matter how confusing, no matter how irritating it may be. She is going to figure it out. So in this video, I am installing retractable gates in the house for my toddler, baby Sky. No contractor, no waiting, just me, a drill, a hammer, some screws, some other pieces that I can't name because I don't do this on a regular. I rather a guy do these types of things. However, men aren't always available, or sometimes guys don't know what they're doing. Let's be for real. And some of them are just waiting around for you to do it because they don't want to be bothered by housework. Because the more I am in mom groups or women groups, the more we have one complaint, that guys take forever to get stuff done around the house. And I don't understand it, and I never will understand it, okay? Because when I grew up, I'm from the South, I'm from Miami, Florida. And when I was growing up, I've watched the men take care of all of the home improvement stuff. Like all of the manual labor stuff they did, at least from what I saw. I seen men, especially my father, I seen him do things by hand. Like he would literally fix anything. Even if he didn't know how to fix it, he would figure it out, and he wouldn't stop until he figured it out, right? So think about it, because back then they didn't have Google and YouTube University like we do. I'm grateful that I have, that I'm a modern mother, and I have social media and YouTube University to help me during these times, because I don't know how your girl would do it, but in order to use I would figure it out. It would take longer, but I would figure it out. You got to use the right bits, I guess these are called, whatever, and it has to match the screw. So I just went through these different sizes and different types of bits, and to find the one that matches with this by basically putting the pieces together. If it didn't fit, then that's not the piece. But I found this one, and that works. So when I get ready to put the drill on this side, it'll just spin right into it. Okay, so we're gonna test it out. If I mess up some walls, oh well, because I shouldn't be doing this in the first place. So let's see, here's the drill. Girl, I am doing my best to teach. Hold on, let's test this out. Okay. It was something about that drill that made me excited. Drill that into the wall. Seems kind of simple. We'll see. Okay, now girl, I didn't know what I was doing, so don't me saying craziness like, oh, why didn't you do this? Or, oh, why didn't you do that? I did not know what I was doing, okay? I am just a person who would prefer not to be doing this. I am a person who prefer to just, do the gender roles when it comes to women, as far as like cooking and cleaning. I don't want to have to read no instructions and all of that to figure stuff out. I don't want to do that. But you know what? I did. So it was just me, a hammer, screws, and whatever pieces they sent with the retractable gates. that that I used and didn't know what I was doing, and I probably could have hurt myself. I don't know what I was doing. Like I said, I don't know what I was doing. So listen, as moms, we know that safety comes first, right? My daughter is in her moving, she's in her moving stage. That might help. She's moving faster every day. Kids, don't try this at home. Exploring everything. And I realized certain areas of the house are no longer safe and needed to be blocked off. Especially with this girl thinking she's a gymnast and climbing everything. She thinks she's a rock climber. She is climbing stairs and everything now. So I have to constantly be on my guard. Girl, I didn't know what I was doing. But I have to constantly be on my guard to make sure she is not harming herself, which means there is never a moment that my brain can't relax. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, right? So, I told her father, go ahead and do that, but, he's been working and whatever else, I think just putting it off because that's what he be doing sometimes. But I didn't want to keep waiting around for him or anybody, right? Because for one, it's a safety thing for my child. And for two, I need a peace of mind, which means as long as those gates are not up, I'm going to be stressed out. Okay? So here I am looking stupid, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with what the name of these pieces are. I don't know what the pieces are for. Girl, child, I don't know. Listen, yo no sé, baby, pero I do my best, baby, okay? I could have drilled my finger. Then I realized I didn't have all the pieces. He didn't have the actual drill piece that you drill into the wall with. He didn't have that in his little toolbox thingy. We'll be back. I don't want to hurt myself, so I'm gonna go figure out how to drill it in the wall without cutting my fingers. So because this is my first time and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I had to get a little bit of creativity in me. And I'm an artist, I could do that, but still, that didn't mean I wanted to do that in this case. So I went to look at some videos, probably about 6 of them, and I was frustrated on a couple of them because I was like, what? Then I realized he doesn't have the drill piece that goes in to make my life easier. So what I had to do was use the drill to just kind of start the hole. And when I started the hole, that's when I took the hammer and kind of like nudged it in a little bit more. And then once it got a little bit deeper, pause on all of this, okay, pause. But once the screw got a little bit deeper into the wall, I got the screwdriver and I started twisting it in, and it started making some traction. Look. So he don't like for holes to go into the walls. Okay, so anyway, when it comes to my baby safety, in between my talking, it is. Forget doing this video. I'm still learning how to do all this content creation stuff. So as you can see, it's sturdy. It's pretty sturdy. So once I get the other hole right here going, then I'll be good. And then I gotta do the damn. When it comes to long, I don't know how I'm gonna get that videos. It's a little more complicated. But I don't know how I'm gonna get that done because this is already frustrating me. Anyway. Waiting was not an option anymore. It had been a few days since I had ordered it. And I was like, listen, if I don't get this up, especially since my ankle was sprained and I can't run behind baby girl as fast as I wanted to, she'd be darting up the stairs like it's nothing. And then I got to chase her. And I could not chase her at this time because my ankle was hurting. So I ended up having to do it myself. I ended up doing it myself. So quick question. For the women who are watching, who are women who like to learn and fix things, right? Have you ever had to fix something in your house yourself because waiting wasn't an option? Like, yeah, you didn't have time to wait. Let me know in the comments. All right, so I chose these retractable gates because they don't block the space permanently. They roll back when you're not using them, and they're safer for kids running around. At some point in the video, I'll be able to show you how it looks and some of the parts and all of that. But yeah, it had, parts, of course, to it. It wasn't a lot of parts, but for someone who doesn't know what they're doing, this was so intricate, and I was doing my best to figure out how to do it. I ain't know nothing about nothing, child. Listen, I hate to say this is a man's job, but this is a man's job. I don't even know why. I didn't have no business doing this, but I did it. But I tell you what, I did it. So, mind you, I was hot and my baby was taking a nap. So I ended up using that opportunity to do it while she was asleep, because when she's awake, this girl, oh my gosh, she be getting into everything. But this is just for this flight of stairs. There's another flight of stairs around the corner from there that I had to put one as well. And going up the stairs, there's another section that I would like to get another gate for. But right now, I think these two are the best because we're usually on the second floor. I didn't know what I was doing. He had all these bits and all of that stuff. I had to figure out what the heck I was supposed to do. I started doing things manually, like, girl, because I couldn't get the drill to work. And I found out the reason the drill wasn't working is because I had it on the opposite side. So there's a side that screws the screw in the wall, and there's a side that unscrews it from the wall. And so, girl, I had the thing on unscrewed the whole time, wondering why it wasn't working. So I started using the screwdriver, which is not a flathead screwdriver. I forgot what type it is, but it was giving me a hard time, and I had to I had to do what I had to do. But anyway, it was working. I did it. I figured it out. It took forever. I promise you, it took me like 3 hours to do this. It took me like 3 hours to do this first set, and then the second one, it only took me about probably 40 minutes because my ankle, I had to be mindful of my ankle still hurting and then attend to the baby in between that. But really, I think this thing would have probably only took like 10 or 15 minutes. Probably 10 or 15 minutes. So if you're someone who don't like to drill holes in their walls and stuff like that, listen, you're gonna have to get over that, because it's the safety of the kids first and your sanity second. Or you can switch it around, it's up to you, but the holes gonna be hoeing in here. The holes are going to be holing in here. All right, so let me say this. Let me say something to the women who are watching this. A lot of us grew up thinking certain things were men's job or men's work. I'm one of them people. I will tell you, some things men are supposed to do because, yes, that's how I was taught, but I was also shown, I guess you want to say, good role model from men who would fix things around the house, whether it was my father, cousins, uncles, family, friends, whomever. They fix things. All the women had to do was say something was broken, and they fixing it the same day or the next day. They never took weeks. They never took days. They fixed it the same day most of the time, for what I saw, or a couple days, depending on their work schedule. But it did not last for more than 2-3 days. 2 days, I would say. So a lot of us grew up thinking certain things were men's work, right? But when you become a mom, especially when you're responsible for your household, when you're a stay-at-home mom or a single mom, you start realizing something. You start realizing it's just me in here. So I got to do something. Ladies, we can learn almost anything if we're really willing to do it, right? we can learn almost anything. And I am someone who loves to learn. So at first, this process was a bit frustrating. You're going to hear me say bruh a few times in this jump. But, and you might hear me curse a couple times too. But I was frustrated. But at some point, it started becoming fun.
Align the lower mounting bracket with the lower gate mount, then slide it down to lock. What?
I don't even know why they make instructions. It was just so stupid.
Lower mounting.
Like, it was so stupid how they diaphragmed. All instructions need to come with a video.
This piece. Okay. So. But it has to reach it. It has to reach it because align the lower bracket. Okay. So I'm going to have to put this piece onto it. And then once I get that piece, it'll be here. Then I could do that. But how if it's mounted? It's not even close to the wall enough. So I don't know how. Ah, sweet Jesus. Unless I put it on the baseboard, which I might have to put it on the baseboard. Yeah. First I'm gonna wipe the baseboard off, and then I'll put it on the baseboard because that might be better. Okay. I think I'm getting it. I'm getting a headache, but I'm getting it. Because that's what a mom does for her kids and for her peace of mind, because ain't nobody else gonna do it.
So, child, this installation process, oh my goodness. First, you have to measure. You know, you got to get your handy dandy pen. Probably best to use a, what do you call those permanent marker thingies? Because the one that I was kind of using wasn't working at first, but it started working eventually. But the first step is figuring out where the brackets go. Don't ask me nothing about no brackets. I don't know the names for stuff. I don't know. I'm just summarizing what I had to do. Then after figuring out where the brackets go, and you know you did your measuring, now you gotta mark the holes with the pen. You mark the spots before drilling so you don't mess up your wall, and so you can know exactly where you want to put it at. And then there's 3, like the drilling, the moment of truth. Like the moment of truth is you drill it into the wall, not knowing if you're gonna run into what do you call it, a stud or something like that. I don't know, a stump in the wall. You gotta tap on the wall, you gotta knock on the wall to find out the sound of it. Is it hollow? Is it this? Is it that? Bro, it's too much. Like, what? I don't know. Can I just drill and get this over with, please? Is what
So I had to manually use this. This is not the right screwdriver at all. It's not the right screwdriver. But this one kind of helped a little bit. And then I used this yeah. And
so yeah, when I mounted the brackets, I tested the gate. And that's what you see here. I'm testing the gate to see if it actually works, because it took a lot of work to put those 2 little pieces in the wall. I don't know, because the instructions were so confusing. I don't know, but I watched a few videos on YouTube University, and some of them were showing me, but they didn't have the same brand that I had. So look at me all excited because I did it. Yay.
as my daughter would say. Now all I do is get this piece because it's retractable. Get it to that side of the wall.
and we good to go. And since I know how to use the drill, since the girl know how to use the drill, okay, now I'm gonna be around this bitch drilling everything, drilling holes everywhere. How about that? I'm just playing. Ain't nobody got time for that. Don't nobody want to see no holes in the walls. Ain't nobody got time for that. No. So let's see. So now that we got those two pieces, that's a success. We're successful so far. Okay, we are a success so far. Okay. Now we gotta figure out how to do this wall mount thingy. So we bring it across, and then we put the little dots for these parts right here. Hold on. These are the last two parts that we got. It actually didn't have a lot of parts, which is a good thing. Maybe when I do the second gate, it'll be easier. Actually, it will be easier, and I'll be able to do a video and a review on it, because there aren't many videos on this particular brand in general. So maybe I'll do it, or maybe not, because I don't got all the pieces. But yeah, that's a whole different story. But you take these pieces and we put it over there. And since I know how to use the drill now, I mean, I still got to do it by hand manually first, right? So that I can get the drill in. But yeah, I think we might be on to something. I think we done figured something out, and I'm proud of myself. I love that for me. But that don't mean I'm gonna do it all the time. That ain't what the men in my family taught me. That ain't what I want to do. And I would like to stay in my feminine as far as when it comes to just raising my child and cooking and cleaning. If we want to talk about gender roles, I have no interest in doing this unless it's a project that I personally want to do. And I don't want to do this. So that's different. Okay. So I just realized, why you ain't tell me? Why didn't you tell me? I was supposed to use the long screws for the baseboards. I think, no, I didn't. They have long screws and they have shorter ones for a reason. And if you have a baseboard, you're supposed to use the longer screws. Listen, my daughter ain't gonna be this. She only gonna need it for a certain amount of time. Okay, she gonna know better. And not only just that, we might not even have stairs in the future. Okay, so I'm just saying, it's just for now to protect her and keep her safe, and also to keep me sane, because if I have other things that I'm doing, such as being a content creator, such as doing my art, such as cooking, such as cleaning, I want to know that I don't have to worry about her safety. And it's nothing worse than to be a stay-at-home mom, or to be any type of mom, and have to worry about the safety of your kids in the place where you live at. I'm just saying, but yeah. Child, I be talking to y'all like y'all actually sitting there with me. I swear. So after all of that, be honest. Be honest. Hold on, let me do this little sexy thing right here. Ain't nothing sexy than this. So listen, be honest. Be honest. Do you read instructions when you build things, or do you just like to figure it out? Like me. Comment instructions or figure it out. I would like to know. I mean, okay, so I'm split. Sometimes I like to read the instructions because I don't like to be going all around town and wasting time. One thing I do not like to do is waste time, especially as an Aries. Don't waste my time. We do not have the patience for you to be wasting time on nothing. And so in this case, I like to read the instructions and then attempt to figure it out on my own. However, some of those instructions be so dumb. Like, they need to be more they need to work on coherence when they make these manuals, or at least have somebody to make a video, you know, that we could barcode scan or something, because that's ridiculous. When I do their review, I'm gonna have to let them know, because they could have hired me to make the video for them or something. You know what I mean? Because I am a content creator and stuff like that, and I am an influencer, working on my influencer thingy majingy. So they just, I'm gonna have to tell them to hit me up. Oh, child, my back was hurting so bad by the time I ended up. My foot started throbbing at some point because I was on it for too long. I was supposed to have my foot elevated, but I had stuff to do while this little girl was asleep. You already know, when them kids running around, you can't get much done, especially without telling them to sit down somewhere. So I had did the hard part, and I just had to do the side so it can clamp on, right? And I was getting excited that I was almost towards the end. So I know you probably like, okay, tequila. What is this video about? Is it about the gate? It's not necessarily just about the gate. It's about something bigger. Women's History Month, right? Yes, we're in Women's History Month. And we usually celebrate big historical figures, right? But honestly, we need to start celebrating everyday women too. The ones who are currently here, the ones who are breaking their back, working jobs, working from home, being stay-at-home moms, um, just who have businesses and who are doing their thing on top of building stuff. And I'm not just talking about me. I know a few women who do this, and they be out here. They be out here on their thug thizzle. So I want to celebrate everyday women. I think that's equally as important as celebrating the big historical figures, right? The ones raising kids, the ones fixing things around the house, the ones figuring life out in real time, the ones who are healing, the ones who are facing trauma and not running from it. Like, we need to be celebrating, and we need to celebrate our freaking selves. Yes, my ankle really started hurting at that point. And sometimes, you know, history looks like a mom holding a drill while her toddler naps. Okay? So, I know, I said a lot. However, my whole point is, if you are a woman out here handling life, solving problems, learning things you were never taught, or maybe that you have been taught by other relatives, this video is for you. Maybe you're self-taught and you learned on YouTube University, or reading books, or however you learn, taking a class, whatever. This video is for you. Sometimes we do things ourselves not because we want to prove anything. Trust me, we ain't trying to prove nothing. We don't even care to prove anything. Even the strong, independent women who always saying, I do everything, they don't even want to do everything. They don't say it to prove anything, but simply because things just need to get done. And so you don't want to keep relying on others, because relying on anyone will definitely make you disappointed. And you will find yourself waiting until you are prioritized, until people can make time in their schedule for it, until whatever the until is. You just got to be proactive. And part of being a mom is always being proactive. At least if you, and I don't want to say a good mom, but if you are a hands-on mom, you're constantly making sure things get done. And that is the problem. And I believe that is a major reason why women overfunction, why moms overfunction. And I could just say for myself, I overfunction because I'm a doer, right? I like to do. I'm an action-oriented person. So if others around me, if anyone is not getting something done that they know needs to be getting done, whether by reading the room, whether by an assignment was, a task was assigned to them, whatever the case may be, if no one does it, I feel like I have to do it. And I don't want to do it sometimes. I would prefer someone else do it. But the problem is that people either half-ass it or don't do it at all. And I don't like neither one of those. So I prefer that if something is going to get done and get done right, that I do it. Or pay someone who's experienced in their area to do it. You know what I mean? So although I was exhausted this day and my ankle started hurting because it had been a while since I've walked around that long, hence my sneakers on in the house, which I never ever wear sneakers on when I'm walking in the house. But I had to have ankle support because nothing was going to stop me from putting them gates up for my baby. Nothing. But I realized something. I realized this about myself. I'm always going to do my best. I'm always going to learn, and I'm always going to do my best. No matter if I get it wrong, no matter if I mess up, no matter if I have to retract the retractable gate, I'm going to redo it and press forward, because I think that many of us don't want to admit when we make mistakes, or pretend like we know how to do everything, or pretend like, we know everything. But the truth of the matter is sometimes we need help. Whether that help is through another person, whether that help is through a class, whether that help is through whatever. We need help sometimes. But sometimes help is not always available, right? So we got to do the best that we can. And in this case, on this day, I was so exhausted, but I found the strength in me thinking about my baby. Like, I don't want her to fall. I don't want her to hurt herself. I don't want to have to be stressed out, wondering, if she's hurting herself. I don't want to be anxious, because during my postpartum era, which I'm still kind of in, as long as I'm breastfeeding, I'm still kind of in postpartum. But during my postpartum period, I suffered from anxiety really, really bad. And it took a lot for me to calm down and get myself out of that, because it's a real thing. We all talk about postpartum depression, right? But we don't talk about postpartum anxiety. They're starting to talk about postpartum rage more. The postpartum anxiety is a different type of beast. And luckily for me, I have the strength, or I've had the strength on many days to pull myself through. Thank God. Literally, thank God. And meditating and journaling. I journal most of the time. Look at me, so excited and proud of myself. Yes, I can. But I do my best to calm my mind and my spirit and to meditate. And that's the main way I got through postpartum anxiety. So if you are a mom and you're dealing with it, please just know to meditate, pray, journal, dance.
That's the final look, see.
This is the finished product.
I did that.
But not so finished product, because the bottom part didn't work, and I ended up having to go back and redo the bottom part. The latch was not latching, but I got it and it works perfectly now. So if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you like it and subscribe to the channel, because there will be so many more things that I want to talk about. And we need to celebrate each other more. Let me know what part of this video you resonate with. Anything I said that you resonate with? Anything in the video that you resonate with? Have you put stuff together? Just tell me one thing that you've learned from this video, or one thing you've had to learn to do yourself. Let's celebrate women who get things done. Let's celebrate women who are doing the very best that they can.
I don't even know. All the work I did, it is what it is at this point. I'll figure the rest of this shit out later. Oh, Lord. Nope. You can't get in there. Nope. You can't get in there. Access denied. Access denied. Denied. Nope. You can't get in there. Nope. You can't get in there. Said no. Said no. No.
Peace. Enjoy this video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, Real Life Motherhood. Peace.